Can you just tell us the very latest you have on Dan Sheehan, please?
He's good. Yeah, he's got a sprain in his in his foot, a ligament in his foot. Better to be expected. We expect him to be fit for the World Cup.
Sorry, you just dropped off there at the last second, Andy. A sprain in the foot, I mean, that can take quite some time to heal.
No, I'll say it again to repeat it. A sprain in his foot, better than expected. Should be fit for the World Cup.
Absolutely, that's great. So could, all going well, he'll be fit for selection for Romania next week.
We'll see how he progresses over the coming weeks. But as I said, with all injuries, you see how they develop over the period of time, don't you? So, but we expect him to be fit for the World Cup.
What's your message to the players, the likes of Tom Stewart and Stuart McCluskey tomorrow? What's your specific message to players like that who are fighting very hard to get a place on the plane?
There's no message. The messages have been over the last 10 weeks of how we prepare to be the best teammate that you possibly can be. How you adjust and adapt to that is the pressures of playing top level rugby. So they know that, and they'll push forward with that in mind.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Andy. Best of luck.
Thanks,
Patrick McCarry.
Hey Andy, how's it going?
Great, thanks. You?
It's good. Getting used to this again. Listen, I just wanted to ask you two questions. We're all debating. I'm sure the debate's got on yourselves, but our big one is the 19-14 split or the 18-15 split. Is that keeping you up at night as well? Like the idea of I know it's always that when it gets down to the kind of final calls, how tough is that?
No, not really. No, we're pretty clear on that. But having said that, there's a few more days, isn't there, for moving parts, etc. So we'll adapt to that. But we've been pretty clear from the start of what we want, because it's all different with different personnel and different teams. You've got to do what's right to fit your group.
And then I wanted to ask you, just like we won't have seen Ronan Gallagher playing. You spoke at the weekend saying you're not too worried about him. Are you still in that position with him? And then just wanted to kind of ask you as well about Stockdale and Frawley, because they're not involved. Are they still in the mix as well?
Well, we haven't selected the squad yet, so everyone's still in the mix. There's a good few days to go in that regard. But as far as Ronan's concerned, he's doing great. He's flying around the place at this moment in time. This week, if it was at a push for him to say it was a World Cup semi-final, a World Cup final, I'm sure that we could have got him over the line this week. But there's no need to do that. So he's in good spirits.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Matthew.
Hi Andy, how's it going?
Great, thanks.
Just wanted to ask you one about Tom Stewart. Obviously, it's a big step up for him being his first start. What have you liked from what you've seen from him so far, and what are you expecting on Saturday?
I like everything. I certainly like most things. What I've seen a determined young man that's willing to try to understand first and foremost of what it takes to thrive in an international environment, and it's tough for a young kid coming in, especially in that type of position. But he's certainly done that. He's a determined kid that quietly goes about his job, but he certainly puts a lot of confidence into the coaching staff and the rest of his teammates by the way that he prepares, etc. So hoping that transfers. I suppose that's the main thing. Just being himself at the weekend, because he's a good player.
Just a quick one on Samoa. I think you've described elements of the performances against Italy and England as clunky. Where are the sort of areas you want to see improvement on Saturday night?
Well, I think we got better, certainly in the second game. Scored some fantastic tries. Consistency, isn't it? That's why we're playing the warm-up games, to make sure that we get a bit of the rust out, etc., and show some pictures to one another, what's acceptable and what's not. So we're here to take a step forward in our development as a team.
Thanks, Andy.
Cheers, thanks.
Thanks, Matthew. Derek Foley.
Hi, Andy.
Derek.
I'm just assuming that not everybody gets fit at the same rate. So some people are behind and some people are forward. So could I specifically ask you about Tyg Byrne? You've selected him to play. Is he a little bit behind? I just noticed he didn't touch the ball for 60 minutes. And I will say he was defensively brilliant last week.
He was,
but
yeah.
He actually didn't touch the ball for a long, long time. Is Tyg a little bit behind and that's why he's there? Or what's the reason?
He's definitely not behind. He's had a fantastic pre-season. If Tyg didn't get the ball or he looked like he's behind to you, there must be good reason for that. As in, because when I watched the video back, he was always in position. So maybe somebody didn't give him the ball, Derek. But he's in fine form. He's grown massively as a leader within the group this summer. And he's in the side this week because there's always a blend, isn't there, between experience and helping people out who's been given a chance, etc. And he would want to be one of those leaders that's in that type of bracket.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Derek. There don't appear to be any more questions from the online newspaper section, so thanks everyone for joining us from home. Just to reiterate...
Just put in one, Peter.
Pardon?
Peter, is there one chance?
Yeah.
Just quick one, Andy. Just about how pleased were you with Tyg Furlong? I know for the last while that he had problems with ankle, calf, and then in the Champions Cup final, you know, he didn't train the day before, and then he just lasted into the second half. Was that a relief on any level to get him through like 57 very tough minutes against England?
Yeah, it's a lot of minutes in comparison to what he's done over the last 6 months. He was minding his injuries coming into camp, and we slowly built him into pre-season, etc. And since he's got back with us full-time basis, he's never missed a beat. So keeping him going after the Italy game into the England game and getting so many minutes out of him was fantastic for us all.
Okay, thanks very much, Derek. I need to wrap it up, Derek.
Just one quick one. What do you make of their co-captain Michael Alatoa? He's at Leinster. He's done well. He's settled in very well and improved, if you like.
Settled in very well where?
At Leinster.
Oh, he's been fantastic. Yeah, he's a great player, and you know, captain in the side, etc. With Samoa says everything about him. You know, that the type of professional that he is and the respect that he's got from his peers, and that's what I hear from the Leinster boys. Also, you know, he's a great player with a lot of experience.